Alright, so we're back. So some of the stuff you're gonna need is this is a heat gun. If you have a blow dryer that turns out some pretty good heat, you can use that. I'm using it for the terminals. I got a Stacon for crimping the terminations. I have some pre-cut length heat shrink tube, which I bought a kit a while back from that one place that everybody buys off online, not eBay. Yeah, so picked up this, the various set, like 532 piece, the partner wanted heat shrink wrap. So I got some number 16 black and red cable to go with the wiring, which is black and red on my harness kit. I don't have the same plastic sheeting tube, but I do have some of this kind of like Chinese finger expansion stuff. So I'm gonna heat shrink the end, so it doesn't really matter. So color wise, if you look at this here, so there you go, see it? 16 to 14 would be blue, 12 to 10 right there would be yellow. Then you have pink, which would be the color below this guy, would be 18 to 20. So the number, the smaller the number, the skinnier the wire. So 16 gauge is going to be larger, smaller than a 14 gauge. And as you go down, the numbers get closer to 0, they'll get larger in diameter. So I got a fancy Klein stripper. I have other ones, but this one was closest. So it gives you a little wire size on it. I got a set of my daughter's little cobalt scissors, her little arts and crafts scissors. So when I do modify the harness, I'm going to keep the short one. We're ready to keep that for the driver's side. The longest set of the cord, I'm going to cut right about here. I'll make my terminations there and then heat shrink this. So yeah, pretty much like that. We'll just cut it here on that section, and I'll strip back the plastic with my scissors. And I'll show you a little bit of the step after that. Okay, so you see kind of where the length where I clipped it because the harness is too short. So here you go, black and red wires. I pulled off the old plastic jacket that was up inside this little heat shrink tube. Got a little box for trash and debris, so the wife doesn't get mad at me for making a mess everywhere. I trimmed back roughly 3 or 4 inches of the plastic jacket so I can make the terminations. Just they're pretty much already together, like this wire here. See, it's already together. Basically, got to go through and just separate these two, like so, and then peel off your length. Roughly, I did an arm's length. I'd rather have more than not enough. So if I need to zip tie any of the extra harness up while I'm doing it, that's not a big deal. I'd rather do that and then try to add another set of terminations in there. The less you do, the less likely you have a problem with wiring. If there's a not crimped or bad termination or connection with one of these guys, you might have a problem. So the fewer you have, the best. So all right. So go. All right. So put this in here into the gauge. Ta-da. So basically that'll go through. I'm going to do a little bit longer. So here's there's a spot. You see the center little divot in the middle, right there. That's a little. I'm sorry, there's a stopper in there, so that's where the wire will butt up to. Then you'll crimp on that line and this line here. With the insulated part of your Stacon crimpers, and there's a non-insulated. That's for something. So I have one in here. Basically, it would be one. Imagine this, all metal with no plastic on it. So you'd have that metal piece without any type of insulation. So I'll strip the two of these ends here, pull my 6 feet length off of this, and then I'll show you how to get these guys on and do that. So my assistant, my wife, said hi. She's in a video of me doing the process for you guys. Roughly, an arm length. That's roughly 6 feet. I'm going to cut this. Since we already put the terminals on the harness end and on the piece we cut, this would be how it would be from the factory, but we just cut it and opened it up. So 2 fingers, split a little bit of it. I have my strippers. This one and this one. So since I have one end already open, I can just connect these two so it'll butt in there. Red to red, black to black. Try not to cross them up, and then crimp it. Put the black in. Make sure it goes all the way in, butts up, or dead end, or just goes all the way to the end of the insulated throat of the terminal. Crimp it. So those two are done. Part of it is done on the piece we're going to extend. So what I'm going to do is, here's the heat shrink. I'm going to slide 2 on because I want to be rather be a little bit more cautious for the moisture issue, since the covering I have isn't completely waterproof. But so just slide these 2 into the heat shrink like so. So I'm going to go to where this edge is. So there's the connector, and I have about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch over that. So turn on my heat gun. Make sure it's on high heat. And then we'll go let it squeeze down a little bit. Take the other one, since we only have one side done. And we'll do might need to wiggle it a little bit just to get it on. And just overlap the other one. Rotate it, try not to keep it too close to the heat or in one spot. It will cause your insulation to bubble, or you might burn the shrink wrap. It's going to be warm. So there's that end. So what I have is, turn this off and cool it down. So what I have is the mesh. That's going to go replace the jacket, cut out the straight end. So just like your Chinese finger torture device, I'm going to slide the end in here, and then just push it in to it comes out. Trash. So don't yell that for making a mess. Alright, so just shove this through. Basically it'll expand, and you just shove it down trying to find more of this, but it came from one of the jobs. Scrap stuff when I was stripping and terminating some equipment. So it's kind of cool looking. You don't see the black and red wires. The goal is to put this all the way on, and then it'll slide back into that, so it looks semi-factory-ish, but still modified. This is the other one we did, so let's keep shoving it in. And it might be a little long, which is okay. I can always trim it down. Go over and over and over. What I should do also, since I have this, now it's cooled down, just as a precautionary measure. It's not, I wouldn't say too much overkill, but just like to put a little black tape on the ends of it, just to make sure that it helps with, you know, any type of moisture. Their terminals, they have those that are, the connectors are solder blocked. I didn't have any of those, but I might buy some to try them out later. Let's see. Yes. I'll take this one. Continue pushing it all the way on. It should go down all the way to the, there we go. Oops, over the harness. So the harness is right here. I just went through and went over about 1 inch. I'm going to tape that up just so it looks kind of like a clean edge. I could go through and do a heat shrink, but I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, so that'll do that. Pull this all back, you can see the connection in there. I have just enough to do that, so we'll strip this guy back. Strip this guy back. Take the positive, the red to the red, positive, positive. Yeah, hold on a second. Almost messed up. I need to make sure that my heat shrink is on. Almost. That's one thing I didn't want to do. I have to cut another section up. So make sure that you put your heat shrink tubes on, because once you connect them, they don't fit over the ends of the terminals for the plug into the wired harness. Bam. There we go. So now we'll do it again. Red to red. Then my shrink tube is already on, in place. Use the insulation side of the Stay-Con, crimp down. Take my black to black, or your negative, crimp it. Spruce it over. Pull to the edge. Reshrink the tube. Pull the next one over. Looks like this side. You can also buy the heat shrink in full length like rolls and just cut it yourself. This was simpler because it had a bunch of different sizes to do like a single wire or larger wires like this. Push it down. Let this go down. Okay. Then there you go. And just push this back over, and I'll put it into here, tape this section up, and there you go.